Yeah, you did it.
Hi, this is Dr. Gilbert. I am from Oregon Weight Wellness, and this is our CHOWW, our Culinary Health of Oregon Weight and Wellness. And I'm here today joined by Melissa Hedstrom. Thank you for inviting us into your kitchen, Melissa. Here we're in Melissa's kitchen. And, Melissa, tell us a little bit about yourself and how we're connected. And, a little bit how... So about yourself, how we're connected, and what brought you to nutrition.
Oh, that's the oven is ready. Oh goodness. My background, health educator. So I just got very focused into fitness and exercise, and that took me, of course, into nutrition. And
because you can't have one without the other.
You can't. Yeah. You can't. And really, the nutrition is that.
I'm going to stop you. You can't out-exercise a bad diet, right?
Exactly.
Did you hear me say that? You can't out-exercise a bad diet. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah. Very true. So what brought me nutrition is more holistic nutrition, whole food nutrition, that each person is very individual. So when I realized the cookie cutter approach way back when, got me more focused on learning for the hats that I wear, nutritional therapy, and helping people on healing from the inside out. So gut and digestion, blood sugar balancing, helping to absorb.
So you're saying, Melissa, that those 1,200 to 1,400 calorie sheets that I handed to patients 10 years ago, that wasn't enough. Okay, all right.
And the cookie cutter meal plans that you're supposed to follow do not work. Yeah. So part of what I've seen in my work is helping people reconnect with their intuition. And when you clean up your insides, your gut and brain, gut-brain axis, you get clear communication on what your personal body needs to thrive.
Yeah, because sometimes we don't connect the dots. And then when we clean up our nutrition, we're better able to tune in and connect the dots.
Well, you have more bandwidth. Your brain is clearer to say, I want this versus having a little bit of a sugar addiction that's controlling or whatever it may be. So,
so today, all right. So, but how are we connected?
So it's been years in progress of wanting to work more and more together. And amazingly, COVID was one of those instigators that we've known each other for how long now?
Yeah, I'm going to say 2016.
Yeah. So that's a good handful of years. Right. So continuing to want to work together more prior, and then all of a sudden, of course, COVID life, and now we've brought it back to say we're going to make it happen.
That's right.
The other hats I wear is being a yoga therapist and a functional movement specialist. Right. So helping people weave in the support of moving their bodies and nourishing their bodies and supporting patients with Julie. So
several of our patients have connected with Melissa and are just loving that slowing down, that slow movement, but strengthening at the same time. And Melissa's so good at that. So so much great feedback from what you do. And what I love as a physician thinking about helping people slow down that and getting their rest and digest system going, that parasympathetic system going, is that they can take what they learn from you, Melissa, into other parts of their day.
Exactly.
And I love that.
Yeah, nice rewiring of the nervous system.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you have for us today?
So this is something I've been sharing with a lot of clients to make it easy when we want to get lots of vegetables in. And we all have good intentions when we go to the store and we buy vegetables, and then what happens?
They turn to colloid, primordial soup.
They go bad. Yeah. They go bad.
You know, you hold up the plastic bag and go, bing, bing, and it's soup.
Yeah, and then you toss it all, and you're like, well, that didn't work. So I've come up with this, and I actually did it for myself and my kids to get more vegetables, and then of course my clients have been using a lot of it. It's just whatever you got in the fridge, all your vegetables, like they're gonna go. It doesn't have to be what's out here today. So I'll say what these are in just a moment, but it could be your broccoli, cauliflower, whatever you've got. I bring it out, chop it up, and I've got a cookie sheet over here that will be putting it out. I'm all about ease and family planning here. I like one pot meals kind of thing. So we're going to put the vegetables out here, and I'll do that. And then, so we've got our vegetables, our carbohydrates. And then I'm going to show you, I got particular kind of meat. We want quality when it comes to our meat, so it's nice and clean.
Yeah.
And we do our best. This is not like an everyday meat that we want to have, but an occasional.
Sure.
And this is a kielbasa sausage, but it is, uncured and no preservatives, all of that. So we want to stay away from kind of your commercial meats so much, but see if you can, Life Source, Natural Grocers, Trader Joe's.
Yeah, and even some of the, like, I'm going to show this to the camera a little closer. Even some of the Winco, they're starting to carry better brands. Yeah. And Costco, that's right, because the consumer is talking and they're responding to that.
Yeah.
So this has no antibiotics ever. Yeah, and vegetarian, humanely raised. Yeah. Raised with care. Yeah. So
So this is one example, but like I said, I did notice that Costco is carrying a big batch of good quality kielbasa sausage. So it's nice to get a batch of those, put them in the freezer, and this is such a quick meal.
Yeah, quick.
I pull it out.
Yeah, because Melissa's she's a busy woman.
Well, my hats are nutritional therapy, yoga therapy, functional movement, and children. So I've got a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old that are coming and going, and I want to make sure they're eating healthy, as myself included. And this is a way I can get a bunch of vegetables in. And if there happens to be leftovers, typically not when you have a 16-year-old boy. But if I do make enough of this pile, then there's usually a leftover for, my son will have it for breakfast.
Oh,
and
cool. Maybe crack an egg in that or something.
Yeah, along with the meat. Yeah, totally. So what we have today is, I'll show this plate first. Right here.
Oh, that looks gorgeous. Yeah. Here, I'm going to hold it up.
I want to thank my son for chopping this
up
for
look
us.
How beautiful that. Tell us what these are. I can tell what the beets are, but tell me what this
We've got sweet potato.
Okay.
And parsnips on the other
parsnips. Side. Okay, now parsnips, I got to be honest, something that I don't usually reach for at the grocery store.
So, and that's why I included them, because a lot of people, we go and get our broccoli. We go get our same things.
Yes, right.
And one of the ways of making this, it'll kind of open up your horizons to when you go to the vegetable section of the store or the farmer's market.
Yes, love it.
Is to see where your eyes go and kind of see, maybe I want to try that. And this is a great way to try, like the parsnips. You're like, how am I going to fix that long thing? Because it's kind of this long root looking vegetable.
Right.
My son just peeled the outside and chopped it up, and
it looks great.
It's got a nice sweet flavor, so it balances out.
I was wondering, because the beet isn't sweet. It's kind of earthy.
It's earthy, but it does have, when you a little sweet.
If you I guess depending on how you cook it does bring that carbohydrate. Because maybe it breaks down that long chain carbohydrate.
So it does get pretty sweet. So this is kind of the sweet foundation, and then you've got kind of, your zucchini doesn't have much flavor.
Right, zero. It just picks up whatever it's with.
Kids like zucchini. I like it. Okay.
Wonderful.
And then I wanted a little color, so I threw a pepper in there.
I love the color.
Depending if you're, depending nutritionally, if you're staying away from nightshades, you won't put the peppers in.
Okay, nightshades, peppers. Yeah, peppers fall into the nightshade category.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and just start to put this together.
Yeah.
This is how easy.
That looks so hard. You worked all day slaving over a hot stove.
The biggest thing was cutting it, right?
Yeah.
I just literally, I'll set up my thing, I'll grab vegetables out of here and just chop and toss on the pan.
Chop and toss. Love it.
And then usually I kind of like try to squeeze in more. We might even have too many vegetables for our plate. So I might not put all the zucchini on. My son
but I love the colors
yeah.
there, because with the colors comes those different phytonutrients. We've been concentrating on 5 cups, 5 colors.
Yeah,
that's one of my ads recently.
I like
so
it.
yeah. And as I've told people
Oh,
who come in and say, I don't know if I can eat 5 cups of vegetables. Okay. Runaway pepper. Dog gets that. But yeah, I've been telling people who are like panicked, like I can't eat 5 cups of vegetables. Well, color trumps cups, meaning get your colors in and don't worry about the cups. So
I had a client, one of my current clients, she had this, we just had a goal that week. She wanted to start including more color. So she started to just tally on a little food journal how many colors she got that day. And she goes, it was really eye-opening that all of a sudden she realized she was only eating like white stuff. And she started, it helped her just to bring that awareness that she was like, oh yeah, I need to get some green. I need to get some purple.
Right. Cool. Yeah. And you get purple from so many things. I tell people they're purple carrots and they said, there aren't any purple carrots. But
purple broccoli.
Yeah. Purple broccoli, purple cauliflower, purple cabbage, and then of course eggplant and purple onion.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. And I just encourage people, if you ever see purple, go for it. I like purple. That's one of my favorite colors. But we don't get a lot of it in, and it's got such good nutrients.
Yeah.
So anytime you can toss purple in.
Right. Purple, I've said this before, anthocyanins, which actually raise HDL. So cool.
So what I'm going to do now is I got too many vegetables here.
That's right. Looks
I
like
will pile it up. And now I just take the meat and put it over the top, all over.
Yeah.
And so what happens is it kind of seasons the vegetables.
Yes, I was thinking that. And there's a little fat in the meat. I'm sure probably less fat than your other commercial grade kielbasa, but then the fat then also helps cook the vegetable.
Yeah. And it makes sure it's kind of on throughout, so it just makes, it spreads that flavor.
Right.
But this, you can see it really, we're talking quite a bit, but this only takes like a couple minutes to put together. And when I've had a lot of appointments that day and my kids are like, what's for dinner, Mom?
Right.
So
when your kids could do this, I mean, they've
got the hang of it now.
Right.
So what I like to put on top, just to add that extra, again, more nutrients about it. And once you get a system down of making this maybe once a week and getting all your vegetables in, is playing with different herbs and spices, which are really good for healing the gut and the intestinal wall. Yeah. So I have fresh ones growing that I just planted from Minto Island growers. Got little starts. They're all in the backyard. Cool. So they're not quite ready to bring my fresh ones in. So I have a little bit today, just dried rosemary that I'm going to.
My son, who's 21, so we grow quite a bit of herbs across the street. My husband likes to toss them out there as weeds. So we've got sage, we've got rosemary, we've got thyme, we've got all kinds of mint. And we've got a hillside, and he wants to cover the hillside in these herbs and oregano. That's another one we have. So anyway, it's so fun to send my son across the street for hey, what is the recipe called? Oh, oregano.
Can you go get that? Don't mind the dog in the background. That's Bailey. All right, Bailey. Right. So I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. Yeah. And so I have a little pink Himalayan salt here.
It has a little more mineral content, I think, than your white that's been bleached, right? Yeah. And when you salt it yourself, then you're usually losing so much less salt.
Yeah. And again, part of wanting to reduce salt is reducing from your processed food, not your own hand.
Exactly.
So here's some pepper I'm going to put on the top.
Yeah, that's great.
And then last but not least, we need a little more healthy fat so that we can balance the absorption and improve the absorption of the vegetables. And because I've set the oven for 425, so being at a higher temp, anything above 400, I like to use an oil that I know can sustain that high heat.
Right.
And avocado oil is one of them.
Yeah. Now, does it say that on the label about the?
It says high heat right here, so it can handle high heat.
Yeah, and I would say high heat is anything over 350, maybe.
I typically do 400.
Right. Oh, is medium?
400 and above, I use this. If it's 350, I'll sometimes use a little olive oil.
Okay, olive oil. So olive oil then, a good quality, I don't think, then burns at that.
Right. Yeah. So I have my olive oil and my avocado oil. And again, oftentimes if I really just want the olive oil flavor, I'll roast it even with a little avocado oil. But then afterwards, when it's on my plate and ready to eat, I can drizzle a little more olive oil on.
See, that's a good thought.
So I'm going to take this, and I'm pretty generous.
Yeah, not afraid of fat when it comes from its natural source and it's not been processed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And literally, again, like I said, we were chatting a lot, but that was done probably 5-10 minutes. I could put that together.
Oh, yeah.
And so 425. I typically do about 20 minutes in the oven, and then I check it, and I'll use my little prongs to kind of stir it around a little bit, and maybe 10 minutes more. Depends on your oven.
Sure.
And then see what you think, and then a little bit of cooling, and it's dinner.
And it's dinner. Yeah, soup's on.
Yeah.
Except roasted veggies and kielbasa. In this
Exactly.
case.
Exactly.
Looks delicious in so many colors and herbs and healthy fat. Looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my son's appreciative that we're making this mix.
Oh,
This is what he's
He's
gonna
hungry.
He's hungry. He's going to
Good.
be eating this. So yeah.
All right. All right. Well, Melissa, thank you so
Yeah.
much for introducing us to another great recipe. It looks delicious. It's very nutritious for sure. It's going to make us feel full and satisfied.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're looking for. We want to, we don't want to deprive our bodies. And when we feed it the nutrients that we need, and we give it, we're giving ourselves that good nutrition.
And you will feel that satisfied.
Yeah.
We're hitting all the palates here of sweet, savory, salty, spicy
Yeah,
a little
right.
bit. So
Yeah.
you'll feel that satisfaction.
Checks all the boxes. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right. Until next time, ciao. Okay.
Maybe.
All right, here we go. I know how to do this. There.